Go inside and find that ball of light, radiant, vibrant life energy at the base of your spine. This is your life force, which is at your disposal. And so let's invite it to touch every part of our body by inhaling it up the back. So each vertebrae is innervated and all of the nerve fibers going to every part of the body. We inhale to the top of the head, and as we exhale, letting the ball of light energy flow down the front of the body, sending nurturing energy to every vital organ. Just keep that circle going for a minute. Refreshing, revitalizing, energizing, and protecting your precious body. This body has been co-created for the purpose of sharing our light and love in this world. It has stayed with us, been loyal to us, even when we gave it a bad rap, even when we judged it or treated it badly. It has been loyal to us. And this morning, we give thanks to it. Today, we acknowledge our friendship with our body. A simple act of gratitude and breathing is all it needs right now. And as you breathe into your heart, once again, invite a message from the Spirit of Breath as to what's important for you today in your self-care, which includes all of your bodies, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Listen in your heart what you hear that's important for your self-care today. And secondly, if you will, ask what you can do to serve, to help other kindred spirits in their bodies. What you can share today that does not deplete you. As a matter of fact, it enhances you. What act of love might you give to our community members, both here in the room and with us virtually? How can you hold them in consciousness, in loving light? How can you open to be both student and teacher by just your presence? And while we're at it, what the heck? Ask for a special treat today. Ask for something that just would tickle you, delight you. What special treat would you like to have or to share with our community today? And if it makes you smile, you're probably right on. And with a couple of deep and clearing breaths, bring yourself back, relaxed, alert, open, and grateful. So a couple of process comments, because this morning we're going to deal with our companion and friend, fear. And a training is a time, it's different than a retreat, okay? I know many people think of this or have called this a retreat. Well, it's not a retreat. It is a training. So we are consciously stretching ourselves and taking ourselves into areas that part of us say, oh, I just like to go hug a tree today, or spread out on the lawn or whatever, which are great things, and we'll intersperse those, and we're doing a training. And in the training, it means that you have volunteered to go to the limits of your playground of safety. to expand that and to create more safety in your life, a bigger inhale to include more into your life. Now, what are the boundaries? How do you know the boundaries of your playground of safety? It's called fear. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Okay. And so when you get to those, your body will respond. And if you really are pressing it and are really wanting to open up, we call that hitting the wall. And so at various times, all of us, and I do mean all of us, I've been doing this long enough to know that I'm not exempt from anything, nor do I want to be. I didn't come here just to watch everyone else have a good time and grow. And it's like, I want in on it. So I'm in there pitching with everyone. We each came for our next step, whatever that is. Okay. And so the veterans amongst you, and I know there are a lot, know this already, is that you hit the wall and then thoughts start coming like, what am I doing here? Who are these people? I don't belong. No, this isn't doing it for me. Where's the exit? In some intense trainings, that is such a common phenomenon that they ask the people when they come to the training to deposit their keys in a safety box. Because they don't want them to impulsively run out, without talking to someone first and recognizing, oh yeah, maybe there's something in this for me. Maybe it's not just all about the food doesn't fit for me or so we breathe, we listen, and we can share. That's the thing here, is that we have created a safe space for us to share as a community. So obviously, trainers are here for that purpose, to hear, but so is everyone else. Your roommate, for example. Sometimes sharing doesn't mean, it all goes away, but we get out of the silo of, I got to white knuckle this through this myself. Go to yet another lecture. Just know that there's going to be people hitting the wall when you're flying in the clouds, and so just be respectful and support them, because believe me, the tables can turn easily, and it's okay. It's what we came here for. We came to stretch and grow. Okay, so the companion to breath work, without which there would be no breath work, is resistance. Resistance, I mean, if no one had any resistance here, we wouldn't be having a training. Resistance is just fear acted out. And to the degree that we have not completely evolved to a place of total enlightenment, to a place of self-realization, we all have resistance. So no big deal. Sometimes breath workers will say, well, I've got some clients, but boy, are they resistant. Well, of course, that's why they came to you. And because we all know, we say this is what we want, but then, oops, all of a sudden, it starts coming to us and we draw back. It's like we didn't spend 30, 40, 50 years resisting something for no good reason. There is a reason that resistance is there. It often actually might have been life-saving at certain points. That ability to shut down and tune out. We know this now in trauma. It's a built-in mechanism to help us not stay in horror. or in extreme pain. So we all have that capacity, and it's not about getting rid of it or making it go away, but it's just knowing when to use it and when it's not necessary. And as we do that and have respect for it, it becomes generally less and less necessary to go into contraction, to go into fear, to go into holding. So let's talk about resistance as it applies to breath work, because there can be resistance before a session, during a session, as well as afterwards. So what does resistance look like before a session? So someone calls you for a session, a breathwork session. Say someone called Shira, she had her hand up. And Shira, you do breath work? Are you a breath worker? I heard about that.
Yes.
Well, my cousin says that would be really good for me. And although my cousin's a little flaky, kind of new agey, you know, I owe him one. So sign me up for a session.
Great, you sound super motivated.
Can I sign up?
Come on in. Come on in.
Okay, so usually when I get that sort of an entree, even before I will say, come on in, I say, what do you know about breath work? And I tell them a little bit about what the process is. Okay. And then I say, what is it that you would want in this kind of a process? It's one in which you are being coached in breathing. It's one in which you deal with anything that might be an impediment to feeling joyous and alive. It involves some inner work, as well as some knowing how to take care of yourself and breathe well. No, I'm not interested in that. Oh, okay. Well, then we don't have a deal. Okay. So that generally saves a lot of hassle for both of us. And we talked about that in our basic session yesterday, the contract. So getting the contract clear right from the get-go. Sherry, where's Sherry? Sherry. So are you, I read about you online. I saw that you do something called Therapeutic Breathwork. And I'm interested. I know that breathwork is a healing thing, and I really am interested in that. What are your credentials?
Well, I have studied under Jim Morningstar. I completed a 3-year program in spiritual psychology, and this is my 7th breathwork training. So,
Yeah, but do you have any scientific basis for this other than some flaky star person?
I can see you're very intuitive, and
that's what I suspected. Yeah. Could I have copies of your degrees? Did you email them to me? And I would like to also see if you're bonded. And okay. So you get the picture that you can be put on the spot, you know, if someone's coming in, and you can recognize, oh, this person has got some fear going on. So you can either say like hang up or go, sorry, the party you are calling is out of commission.
You're breaking up on me.
That's a good one. And so we can recognize that there's fear, and we can stay with and be respectful, as Sherry was attempting. You know, but and know that there's fear. But if it goes on and on, maybe this person's not ready right now. And you can respectfully say, this is who I am, what I do. And when you feel ready to come in, you can check things out, the research and whatnot, give me a call. But being polite, professional, respectful. But you recognize that there's fear. So, Jane, I heard that you do breath work and you are involved in community work and so on. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Breath is a free and something that's available to everyone. So I would like to come in and do breath work.
I would love to have you come in and do breath work. Let's talk a little bit about that. I do charge for my sessions.
Well, wait a minute. I thought this was a spiritual thing.
Yes, it is spiritual, and it's physical, it's emotional, and it is part of my work. And for me, one of the things that I've chosen to do as an exchange of energy for my work is to charge money.
Oh, that seems critical.
I'm sorry that you feel that way. But is there anything I can tell you more about the work that I do, the breathwork, and why maybe you'd be interested in the session?
Well, I am very curious about this, but can I get it for free somewhere?
There might be people at the school that are trying to find somebody to practice with as students.
Oh, you think I'm a guinea pig?
It's an option. Could become a guinea pig.
Okay, Jane is handling that very well. Okay, she's being respectful, polite, and also holding her ground. Also, because you are. So, what are you paying for this training? I mean, it's like you have invested yourself in a career and dedicated yourself to learning the best that you know. And like any professional, if you are not getting sustained through it, then you've got to work 2 day jobs in order to give it away. And you don't have as much to give away. And you're not as available to people to do it. So absolutely, as a professional, it's important that you recognize, and what is the best fee to charge? What should a new professional be charging? Well, it's just, yeah, everyone's like, well, because there is no such thing. It depends on your life circumstances. It depends on the people that you're working with. It depends on what you need. And if you have a problem with your own needs and them being met, it will walk in the door. You are going, as I said, God is just outside the door sending my next client in for what I need. They will challenge me on my credentials if I'm not okay with being a professional, or if I have money issues. So, Gary, I understand you're an acupuncturist and massage therapist, and you also do something like breath work.
Yes, Joe, I sometimes combine all 3 of them.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, sometimes I combine all 3 together.
Oh, great. You know, you're exactly what I've been looking for. Where are you located?
I'm in Glendale, Wisconsin.
Oh my, are you way, that's like way on the east side of town.
Oh, I'm sort of the west side of town, and I drive 20 minutes to work every day.
Oh, no, that's,
Well, where do you live?
that, I live down in Cudahy. The gas to drive all that way. You gotta be kidding. That's a question I actually always ask. Where did you hear about this? You know, that's very good, Gary, right? Right. Well, again, it's a fear that's coming up. And if you're respectful and you can, or give them some alternatives. Well, I know a woman from Cudahy actually who did take this training. And though she doesn't want to hang up a shingle, she might be willing to talk to you about what's going on.
And Jim, to that point, I have actually, if people wanted me to, I've gone to their place to do the breath with them. That's what it took for them to do it.
All right. Now you got to be clear, as Andy is, that that's okay to do that. But you also got to be fairly intuitive and clear about who's asking you to come there and under what circumstances. Having pretty good conversation with them and a good feel for it. But for a male to go to a female's place, or even for a female to come to your office when you're the only one there, you have to be pretty sure and clear about boundaries around that. And it's not just male, female. It could be any person. All right. That's why we have an office, and that's why we set up ourselves as professionals. It's actually not just creating safety for our clients, it's creating safety for us. It's being respectful of our boundaries. Oh, another one. Andy, I know that we had set up an appointment for this morning to do a breathwork session. I was going to come to your place, but I woke up this morning and my stomach feels a little uneasy. I don't think it'd be a good day for me to do breath work. I'd like to reschedule for 11 o'clock tonight.
I'm sorry, Jim, I will not be available at 11 o'clock tonight to provide a session for you.
Oh, but you understand about my tummy ache.
I do, and I understand that it's important for you to take care of yourself. And so if you do indeed want to reschedule, I'd be willing to do that, but during regular daytime business hours.
Okay. I get tummy aches quite often. So I just want you to know if we reschedule, that might happen again.
Well, I would only be okay doing this time, unless you're really sure you want to come in and do breath. I can't. It's not a good business model for me to keep allowing folks to back out at the last minute. You understand what I'm saying about my business?
Yeah, well, you just don't understand my stomach.
That's true.
Okay, so I actually threw a curveball here at Andy. I got two issues going on at the same time. One is canceling at the last minute, but the other is sometimes people will call and say, oh, I got a little sore throat, or I got a tummy ache. And as Andy did right off the bat, I say, okay, I understand. If you don't want to come in, I don't push it. And I also add, though, that sometimes the breath is about healing. And sometimes actually when you're not feeling on top of it, it is the best time to do a breathwork session. That there's not, you don't guarantee, oh, we can fix that toothache, just come on and breathe and all the pain will be gone for sure. No, you don't give any guarantees, but you do recognize that resistance comes up before a session. How many people felt some resistance come up in coming to this training? Okay, I appreciate that. And And appreciate the people who don't even recognize resistance. Because it will come up in terms of, getting a flat tire or an airplane not showing up, or it's okay. It's dealing with resistance is one chore, but then beating yourself up for it is double duty. Nothing wrong with having a cancellation policy. Gary has a cancellation policy, I know. I'm his client. And so I had a cancellation policy when I was in the thick of doing my profession. And a cancellation policy doesn't mean that you will absolutely enforce it every time. There may be circumstances in which you let it go, so you're not bound by it, but having it stated up front is part of your contract.
Okay.
sort of making that contract with people. Yes.
And just to say that things shift, like pandemics come along. And so when somebody says, I'm not feeling well, we might want to explore that a little bit.
Oh,
Right. Fever, all that kind of stuff. And
Right,
yeah,
right.
please stay home, so.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's that too.
Yeah, very good, Jane. And now we also have options, which is we can do this session virtually, right? But the operative thing here is don't immediately bite that because resistance is coming up or someone has fear. Just talking to them about it, just sometimes in a reassuring, accepting voice, not, oh, you got to come in or you're going to pay through the nose or this isn't going to go, it's just going to get worse for you. Or, that's your fear talking now. Okay. It's like, I got 5 clients booked today and I'm not paying the rent. If I don't get 5 people in, you better come. So, but sometimes the session is already started when they are voicing their resistance in whatever way we talked about before the session. And so being a professional, giving them options, and it's actually a gift to them to let them know that sometimes the feelings that come up before a session are part of what's going on and are part of the healing process. If a person is clueless about that, then it continues to happen, not just with breath work, but with going to school or showing up for work or many things in their life. It is a contract and you have to agree. This is what we're talking about. Person's coming in with a lot of fears. You know what your product is. Are you clear about saying it to them? Is it clear to you that they are going to take responsibility for the healing? That's part of your product. It is, you're a coach. You're teaching a self-healing thing. You're not guaranteeing that they're going to come in and you will take their problems away or be continually on call for them. Okay.
Can I just offer something else, Jim? Some of the folks in here have worked with me online because of some class requirements that they've been working through. And I've established you guys might remember this, a little synopsis of what we're doing in the breath, why we do it. And it's folks that I hadn't worked with before, but this is like what we're doing here, what the process is, what you might expect from it, and things like that. And that gives people too, that's another option of, hey, I don't know if I'm on board for that, or I know these particular folks are doing it as a requirement of the class, but in general, folks can often get a better idea of exactly what this is if I share something with them right up front.
That's beautiful, Andy. So take that as a model. In fact, Andy, I'll put you on the spot right now. Are you willing to share that if people say, I would like to see that, what you've written up, that I might use it in my practice.
Sure.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to add one more thing that like, this is such a great conversation. And I just know from my evolution that it was an evolution, that starting out, it was hard to know my value. It was hard to speak up, even when I felt that intuition, even when I felt like, ooh, I don't know. So like, I'm a big proponent of self-love and compassion, and just know that this is a journey. Like out the gate, you might have a feeling that you don't honor straight up, and that's what's teaching you. So like, it's great to get to these places, but you will get there. Like, yeah, it just, yeah. It was a lot for me, especially in the beginning. I was like,
No, okay. So Cindy said something very important here. She said that in the beginning, all of these issues around resistance and being professional and taking care of yourself are a challenge. And she was reassuring that you do learn as you go. And Jane was reassuring in that you can still learn new stuff, no matter how long you've been doing it. And that's what's wonderful about breathwork, is it will continue to give you exactly what you need to learn and grow.